Good afternoon and welcome back to the tribunal. Proceedings have resumed this week in the cases of Radovan Karadžić, Jovica Stanisić and Franko Simatović, while the proceedings in the trial of Zdravko Tolimir will resume next Monday. In the trial of Karadžić, the trial chamber is currently hearing the testimony of a protected witness who is testifying about the wartime events in Zvornik. This is the 88th prosecution witness to testify so far. According to the latest statistics, the prosecution has used approximately 160 hours so far for the presentation of its evidence, which amounts to over 50% of the total time allocated for the presentation of its case. In the Stanisić and Simatović trial, the trial chamber is currently hearing the testimony of a defense witness in a closed session, while the retrial in the case of Ramush Haradinaja and others will commence this Thursday with the prosecution opening statements. The pre-trial conference will be held this afternoon at 2:15 in courtroom 1. This is the first retrial to take place before the tribunal. In July 2010, the appeals chamber ordered a partial retrial of the case following its conclusion that the trial chamber had erroneously failed to appreciate the gravity of the threat that witness intimidation posed to the trial's integrity. According to the appeals chamber, the trial chamber's error undermined the fairness of the proceedings and resulted in a miscarriage of justice. All three accused are to be retried on 6 counts of the indictment relating to the torture and murder of prisoners in the KLA run camp in Jablanica. Next Tuesday, on the 23rd of August, an administrative hearing will be held in the case of Vojislav Šešelj at 10 o'clock in courtroom 2. At this hearing, further details may be provided regarding the continuation of the trial proceedings in this case. Also next week, a status conference will be held in the case of Ratko Mladić, which will take place on Thursday, 25th of August at 2:30 in courtroom 1. 9 other cases are currently ongoing at the tribunal, and I would like to use this opportunity to update you on where we stand on each. Regarding pre-trial proceedings in the case of Goran Hadžić, a date for the further initial appearance of the accused will be announced in due course very shortly. In the trials of Momčilo Perišić, as well as Jadranko Prlić and others, the respective trial chambers are now at the judgment drafting stage. And the trial of Mića Stanisić and Stojan Župljanin will resume on Monday, the 5th of September at 9 a.m. in courtroom 3 with the start of Župljanin's defense case. Stanisic's defense case closed on 20th of July this year. The trial chamber has yet to make a decision on the prosecution's motion to reopen its case in chief. As for the appeals proceedings, in the case of Vlastimir Đorđević, both parties submitted their final appeal briefs, which were filed confidentially on Monday, the 15th of August. And in the case of Ante Gotovina and Mladen Markač, both defense teams filed their appeal briefs on 2nd of August, while the prosecution has not appealed the trial chamber judgment. In the case of Šajnović and others, a status conference has been scheduled for 13th of September, while a date for an appeal hearings in this case, as well as in that of Popović and others, will be set in due course. And the appeals hearing in the case of Milan Sredoje Lukić is scheduled to take place on 14th and 15th of September in courtroom 3. And finally, I would like to inform you that as of next week and onwards, journalists and members of the public unable to attend a press briefing in person will be able to submit questions about any aspects of the tribunal's work ahead of each press briefing. The tribunal spokespersons will respond to a selection of these questions during the press briefing. Questions will be submitted through a specially designed page on the tribunal's website or through Twitter. This initiative will provide larger numbers of the journalists as well as others based outside The Hague with access to our spokespersons. More details will be available in the press advisory to be issued shortly.
There is no official statement, but I just would like to inform you that yesterday, Tuesday, 16th of August 2011, the prosecution filed before the trial chamber a motion to sever the Mladić indictment into 2 parts and to conduct 2 separate trials against Ratko Mladić instead of 1 trial. According to the prosecutor's submissions, the first trial would deal with the crimes charged against Mladić that relates to the events in Srebrenica in 1995. And after the first trial is concluded, the next trial would deal with all of the other crimes in the Mladić indictment, namely crimes committed during the siege of Sarajevo, crimes committed in the municipalities throughout Bosnia and Herzegovina, and crimes related to taking UN personnel hostage during the conflict. The motion is now pending before the trial chamber.
Any questions?
Yes, for prosecution, what the prosecution is looking for is a two separate trial. Would that mean two opening statements, really two cases?
Yeah,
separated?
exactly. Two cases which would be separate. So one would deal only with the Srebrenica 1995, and in our motion we suggest that would be the first trial, and after that trial is finished, then we would continue with the second trial.
That would entail also two sentencing.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
What is the reason behind this?
The reasons are a couple of reasons. First of all, fact that Ratko Mladić was arrested only recently in such a late stage of the ICTY mandate. Also, prosecution considered that severing indictment against him into two trials is the most efficient way to proceed, and will also maximize the prospect of justice being done for all the victims. Also, we think that having two shorter trials instead of one long trial would allow for the best case management in the specifics of the Mladić's case.
But the indictment is largely similar to this to the one of Radovan Karadzic.
Mm-hmm.
Why not have done the same for Radovan Karadzic? And if you intend to do the same for Radovan Karadzic, would that still be possible?
No, we don't. We do not intend to do the same for Radovan Karadzic, because Radovan Karadzic's case is already in a advanced stage. So we finished one part of the case. We are now in the middle of the second part of the case. So we don't intend to do the same for the Karadzic. Yeah, absolutely.
Is this the first time that you are asking for two separate trials for one person?
Yes, it is.
Rachel?
Would you consider trying, it's a little complicated, trying Mladić for Srebrenica at the same time, like joining it together with Karadzic, because his Srebrenica component of his case is coming up?
We are not considering formal joinder between the Mladić Srebrenica part, Mladić Srebrenica and Karadzic Srebrenica. But what we are considering is maybe there is a possibility. It largely depends on the decision of the decision of the trial chamber. But it largely depends on whether we would be able to do some of the witnesses at the same time in both trials. But it is really early to speculate. You know.
Have the witnesses come and
Exactly. Yeah, that would be that's one of the ideas.
When do you expect actually to start Srebrenica part in the Karadzic case?
As it stands right now, we are considering to start it as of January next year. But it is it's not set in stone, so we cannot say, for example. That's our intention to start it in January. So to finish this part of the municipalities before the winter break.
So you could start a Mladić trial at that.
It's very hard to say whether we would be able to start trial. First of all, we would need to wait for the trial chamber to make a decision on our motion, and then we could see what would be the next steps.
You also spoke about the victims, and how important would that be for the victims to have a short trial?
It is our one of the considerations that we were taking into account. The prosecution was taking into account when we filed this motion, was exactly the interest of justice and interest of victims, because victims were waiting for 16 years for Mladić to come to The Hague, and we think that the trial of Ratko Mladić. It is interest of the justice, interest of the victims, that his trial commence as soon as practically possible.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.